Hello, hello! Welcome back to the Feel Good Factor. I'm Susmita Veganosaurus. I'm so glad you could join me here today. In the episode I did about morning rituals, I had promised you all that I'm going to bring in an expert to talk about oil pulling. Today, my 11th episode, here she is. Shilpa Jindal is a yoga instructor, a health coach, an entrepreneur, and founder of the Feel Fit Foodie brand on Instagram. But Shilpa isn't only about feeling fit, she's about feeling good too. Her path to healing has always included practices which are about self care, self love, and then all the good feelings being activated inside you. Today, she's going to talk to us about oil pulling. She's been doing it for a while now. Hi, Shilpa.
Hi, Sushmita.
How
I'm
are you
so
doing?
grateful to be here. I'm doing great. It's absolutely lovely to be here on the show.
I'm glad to have you here. You are my first guest. I'm so thrilled.
Yeah, I'm so excited about that.
Okay. So, Shilpa, can you tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
Okay, to be honest, Sushmita, I've always kind of struggled with this question to tell just a bit about myself. Like, I feel there's so much more to me and, there's so much to tell, but I know, we kind of have to introduce ourselves and stuff. I think I'll talk about what I do. So I'm a yoga teacher and a life coach, and my work mostly revolves around helping people make better choices every day. Then I have a little presence on Instagram. My handle is Feel Fit Foodie, where I try to inspire people with my everyday real life things.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I'm a big foodie. I love to eat a lot. Luckily, I have a better relationship with food now. Earlier, I used to hog anything and everything which came my way. I was not mindful, and now it's a very different story altogether. I feel food nourishes us, and I make healthy choices most of the time. And even if I'm not choosing healthy sometime, I'm fine with it. Like, there's no guilt around the food there.
Yeah, that's what I love about you, because yours isn't like I was telling everyone, it's not just about feeling fit but also feeling good, and about building healthy relationship with every aspect of life. And that's very inspiring, whatever you post about on Instagram. That's why I really wanted to have you here. I want to
Thank
have
you,
you here for
Sushmita.
more interviews later on, but
Yeah.
today I wanted to focus primarily on oil pulling. So how long have you been doing oil pulling, Shilpa?
So now it's been close to 6 years that I've been oil pulling. And when I say 6 years, it's not very regular. Like, I try to stay consistent. If I'm busy on a certain week, I do at least 2 to 3 times a week. But on and off, it's been there like for a while now with me.
Okay. And so even now it's 2 to 3 times a week, or do you do it every day?
No, like when I think I can make time, I do it every day. It's just if I have a very busy week, then I just skip it for some days. But mostly I try to do it daily. Like, I kind of prioritize it now, and especially this year and last year have been a little more consistent.
Okay. And what do you use for doing oil pulling? Which oil do you use?
So I kind of switch between coconut oil and sesame oil, and I have my own reasons for that as well. So coconut oil is cooling in nature. So when the weather is very hot, I mostly go for coconut oil. And when it's a little colder, then I go for sesame oil because that is warming in nature. Also, it depends on my mood. Like, if I'm feeling heated internally, like maybe I'm not well, inflamed, then I would rather choose coconut oil because that's soothing and cooling.
Okay. And what is the purpose of oil pulling? Firstly, can you talk to us about the physical benefits of it?
So some years back, around 7 years back, I was struggling with skin issues. I had a lot of acne and redness throughout my face and even other parts of the body. And one thing I was sure, my lifestyle was not on point that time, and I was eating not very right foods for my body, not putting right foods in my body. I knew like my lifestyle was a little here and there, but then I did a lot of things to improve my skin, and I couldn't really do that. And then I was struggling and searching all over internet about, what else can I do. So I stumbled upon a blog which said, oil pulling can kind of magically heal your skin and rid you of entire acne. And there were pictures also, before after pictures. And to be honest, I got tempted by that in the first place to try this also out, because I've been trying a lot of things and nothing worked. This was my main reason to start, but then I was very curious about this practice, like how can something as simple as this do so much for your body, for your skin. So I kind of raided the internet. I read so much on internet, not just internet. I went ahead to read it in a lot of books also. So I got myself a lot of Ayurvedic books. And then I got to know that oil pulling is a very important part of Dincharya. So Dincharya is, in simple terms, would be an Ayurvedic routine, everyday routine. So which kind of helps you to stay healthy. So back then also, I was a big fan of Ayurveda. And then knowing about the importance of oil pulling in Dincharya, in Ayurveda, I thought I have to give it a try. And then I went ahead with it. And in 1 week's time, I noticed my teeth became very white, like it was the first visible change for me. The whiteness was clear. Like otherwise I had not so healthy teeth, and because of my wrong eating habits also, my oral hygiene was not on point. So that was something which I noticed, and I was like, I have to stick to it now for sure. Then in a month's time, my skin started clearing up, though there were little new acne also. And then I read about the same, and I got to know that it's a process of the body to detoxify. And then you might get a little symptoms here and there in different forms. And mine was just getting a few new acne. So that also kind of went away after a few months. So these were the physical benefits. And which I noticed just after starting it, like within weeks and months. But now it's been so many years of oil pulling, and now I have a very different relationship with it. I think now I associate it with feeling good, with self-love. How like in the morning when you wake up, we always say, forget about yesterday and start a day on a new note, all those things. But this actually helps you in doing that. So it is kind of cleaning your entire mouth, not just your mouth. The toxins get pulled from your entire body also. So it's like starting clean on a new fresh note.
That's so nice. That's so nice. And I think, when you remove toxins from your system, you automatically feel happier and lighter, right? Like it starts your day in a good mood. I do agree. I've been oil pulling more regularly in the past 1 year or so. Even I don't do it every single day, but I do it quite often in the morning. And I see a clear difference in my mood, in the way I feel. On the days that I've done the oil pulling in the morning versus when I have skipped it, there is a clear difference.
That's so true. Sometimes when I travel, I kind of miss it. But now, that is also like some years back. Now when I travel, I do take those carry-on pouches with me so that, I don't miss it. And there's a clear difference on the days when I don't do it now.
In fact, when we travel, we need it more, right? Because that's when
we need it more,
off our regular
schedule. Yeah, we accumulate so much more then. Yeah, true.
I remember reading somewhere that you sometimes do oil pulling twice a day, even before bed sometimes.
Yeah, that's right. As I told you, when I'm not oil pulling, like on my travels or something, then I feel when I come back, I feel I need to do it a little more to come back to the regular this thing. So there's a clear difference when you don't do it, in terms of how you feel, in terms of your oral hygiene, and your teeth start to look different and your gums start to feel different. You get to know. And then to kind of accelerate the process, I do it twice. When I'm home, I have time. In the morning, we are already empty stomach. That's the best time to do it. And in the evening, if you plan to do, because some people are kind of rushing in the morning, a lot of them actually. So in the evening, they have time. So I sometimes suggested to do it in the evening rather than not doing it altogether. Then you should do it after like 2 hours of eating the food.
That's what I was wondering, because I thought the stomach has to be empty when you're doing oil pulling versus having food.
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Exactly. It kind of helps. Otherwise, you feel like, kind of throwing up.
Throwing up, yeah, if you're too full, of course. Okay, that makes absolute sense.
Hmm.
And have you seen when
Right.
you do it in the evenings, have you seen you get a better
Hmm.
sleep or anything?
Yeah, it does because it's an activity which is so connected to yourself. Like you
Mhm.
are involved, you are aware something is happening within you. Like your mind is also involved, your senses are involved.
Hmm.
So it kind of distracts you from other things.
Okay, so
So
it's
it definitely
it's
helps
not
in.
exactly the direct effect of the oil pulling, but more because it's so meditative when you're doing it. That's what makes you relax
Exactly,
and sleep. Ah, that makes so much
exactly.
sense.
It could be the benefit of oil pulling in itself also, but then
Mm-hmm.
this also helps. Like it makes you connect to yourself.
I think that really ties it back into everything you normally talk about, like doing a practice versus doing it with feeling, with mindfulness, with consciousness. When you do it with all those involved, the benefits are like triple, four times, 10 times more, right? When you're involved, when you're
Right,
doing the activity. Yeah.
right. That's
And
so true.
Shilpa, so after you do the oil pulling in the morning, do you brush your teeth? Is
Mhm.
that what you normally do?
Yeah, that's what I do. I brush my teeth and I do tongue scraping with
Mm-hmm.
the like copper
Tongue
scraper.
cleaner. Okay. Okay.
So tongue cleaner, yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
that I feel is an important step. It kind of removes all the residue of the oil itself. The toxins will go away in the oil itself, but to remove that, thin layer of oil from your mouth, I think that's an important step. And after brushing and scraping my tongue, I also do a mouth rinse of warm salt water.
I
So
see.
that's optional, but I feel so much better after
Mm-hmm.
doing it, and I gargle also. So that's a practice which I've been following for a while.
Oh wow. Okay. Gargling with salt water, is it?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
salt in itself is a healer and
Mm-hmm.
it removes toxins very quickly
Hmm.
and it soothes your throat also. So what happens is oil pulling, it might look like it's about your mouth, but it's
Hmm.
not. It kind of pulls the toxins also from your throat area. And then because we have tonsils there, which are directly linked to the immunity of the body, it kind of helps in detoxifying the entire body, not
Hmm.
just the mouth. Yeah.
Okay.
And one more thing, which is something which I noticed. So mouth is the passage to everything, right? We eat through our mouth and it is
Hmm.
the first step of digestion.
Hmm.
So when the mouth is clean throughout the day, toxins are not there, they're very less as compared to the bacteria and, all those things are less in the mouth already. So
Okay.
when the food is going through a clean passage, it is digested better in all the other parts of the digestive tract also.
Oh, that
So
makes
if
sense.
your mouth is not clean at the first place, so all the toxins go inside and they kind of affect the other organs also.
So oil pulling is basically taking what, 1 spoon of oil, putting it in your mouth, and just going boom, boom,
Just
boom, boom.
swishing it around the
Yeah.
mouth. Yeah, yeah, it's difficult to explain that, but it's
Yeah.
like swishing it around your mouth, up and down, sideways. And so the pulling action kind of removes the toxins and the oil goes in between the teeth also. So you
Hmm.
don't actually need a floss. That's what I've noticed. Earlier,
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
used to use floss a lot and now I don't feel the need of it because in between the teeth also oil kind of pushes the toxins out. So you swish it around the mouth for like 20 minutes. You could do it for less duration also if you want, but it's not recommended beyond 20 minutes. Mostly you should notice that the oily consistency should change into water like consistency. You
Hmm.
get to know, when you have
Yeah, yeah. The
to throw
mouth
it.
just fills up, right? And then it just like as if you put a
Yeah,
whole glug of water in there. That's how it becomes.
right,
Yeah.
right.
So what is the reason we use oil and not water for this? Like, can't we just swish around water in our mouth and have the same effect if it's swished around for a long time?
Water is like neutral. It doesn't have other properties of cleansing. It has, but then the antibacterial properties of coconut oil, anti-inflammatory properties.
Doesn't the oil also have the effect of absorbing the toxins into itself, which the water doesn't?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So
Yeah.
the
Okay.
oil kind of takes the toxins from your gums, from your teeth, from the entire tongue, and it absorbs. And when you spit the oil out, the toxins go with the oil.
So it attracts all the toxins and actually takes it into
Exactly.
itself. See, that
Exactly.
makes sense. Yeah. Cool. Water will just rinse it or wash it, whereas oil will attract the toxins, pull it into itself.
Yeah, and that's why the name oil pulling, it actually pulls with a great force, the toxins. And these days, the practice is getting attention because of internet, and it's getting westernized a lot. But this is like a very ancient practice. If you read about it, people have been doing it from like forever, and it's called Gandusha.
Does
Or
it
Gandusha
come
in
from,
Sanskrit.
is it an Indian, like an Ayurvedic practice, or does it come from other Eastern countries also?
It's an Indian practice.
I see. Okay, that's very interesting. It's funny how all these things have gotten lost along the way, and then now they're all coming back.
Now
Even
they're
the
all coming
teeth,
back.
even the tongue scraping that you were talking about.
Hmm.
While we were growing up, it was just like I can never live without tongue scraping. Like I can do without brushing my teeth, but if I don't scrape my
I
tongue
feel the
every
same,
morning, it's
Sushmita. It's so
horrible.
true. It's so true.
I've grown up doing this tongue cleaning, and I
Uh-huh.
didn't know that others didn't do it. I just assumed that, yeah, like everybody brushes, everyone uses a tongue cleaner. But as I
Yeah,
grew up and met more people, I'm realizing like, oh, they don't even know what tongue cleaning is.
it happens with me all the time. I always carry, like, when I prepare my dental kit, I have this brush and my scraper and a paste. So when I carry it, and when I do it, and if I'm traveling, if I'm going out somewhere with other people, they're always like, "What is this?" And I'm like, "You don't use it. That's the same thing, I experience. How can you not use it?"
So all of you listeners, go get yourself a tongue cleaner. They're pretty easy. It's just like a little metal strip. I have a steel one. Shilpa has a copper one. So look for one. It is very beneficial and it really cleanses. You feel really good. Like I know some people brush their tongue also. I can't even imagine it. I have a gag reflex when I think about it. But if you scrape it, it'll come all the stuff, the gunk that's accumulated on your tongue just comes out. And it's not just in the morning along with your brushing, like after your brushing, but also it's good to do when you've eaten a lot of food, and maybe if it's oily food or if it has a lot of garlic or masala or something in it. If you do a tongue cleaning after that, you feel really refreshed. So yeah, that's
In fact, your tongue is like a reflection of your internal system, how healthy you are internally. So usually when you have toxins inside the body, it shows up on your tongue as a layer accumulation. It's usually white, yellow, or could be green also. So if your tongue is cleaner, it means it only reflects internal cleaner state. And the more toxins you have, the more layer it has on the tongue, and removing it manually is a good sign to cleanse your body from inside also.
that explains why the mouth feels so much fresher after just a simple couple of rounds of scraping the tongue.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So, Shilpa, is there anything else you'd like to add related to oil pulling at all?
Okay, so if you're just starting out, if you have never done this before, it might be a little disgusting to think of in the beginning, but it's not, trust me. In case you feel you can't put oil, you can't let it there for too long, I think you can just start with 1 minute. It's better to do it, give it a try, than not doing it at all, just thinking about it. And see, then slowly you can, increase the time by 1 minute, 2 minutes. So in fact, even if you're doing it for 5 minutes every day, it's going to be helpful. It's going to be very helpful. You don't have to do it for 20 minutes always. And then one thing important is you have to throw the oil, spit the oil in the garbage, in the trash, not in the sink, because it might clog the pipes.
Okay.
And yeah, that's something which is important. And if you're starting out, I would totally suggest you to go with coconut oil rather than any other, because it tastes better than mostly all other oils.
Okay. And it's better to use cold pressed oils, than the
Yeah,
processed
always
ones,
better,
right?
always better, right?
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for all that knowledge and information about oil pulling, Shilpa. I hope it inspires all the listeners to try it out. And if you all try it out, then message me or Shilpa, let us know that you've tried it out and how you feel about it. Yeah. So Shilpa, can you tell everybody how they can find you, where they can connect with you?
So I have this presence on Instagram. My page is Feel Fit Foodie. So foodie because I'm a big food lover, as I told earlier also. And then my journey has been always about feeling good. So I wanted to keep it Feel Good Foodie, but then that name was taken. And then at that point in my journey, I was getting fitter day by day. So I thought Feel Fit Foodie, let me do that. And someone suggested, oh, that sounds nice, triple F and FFF, something like that. But to be honest, now it sounds like a tongue twister to me also sometimes.
No, it sounds great. It's very catchy and feel fit foodie, fit from the inside
Feel
out.
Fit Foodie. Yeah. So it's all about the feels. You have to feel good. And I think Sushmita would agree to it. Her channel also says feel good factor. So it's all about feeling good.
Yeah, I'm going to post a link to Shilpa's Instagram handle in the show notes. And you missed saying the Shilpa, but I'll mention it. If you go to Instagram, if you want to search for Shilpa, you can either search for Shilpa Jindal or it's feel.fit.foodie. So there's a dot between each of the words, right?
Okay, I'll also remember that from the next time.
Okay. It was great to have you on the show, and I'm really happy you're the first guest, Shilpa, because when I started the podcast and I was thinking I'm going to have people on here, people who I really admire, who do focus on feeling good in their lives. You were one of the very first people to pop into my head, and then you're here today. So,
yeah, in fact, I feel totally privileged being here, talking to you, and it's really lovely.
Thank you, and okay. So thank you so much for being here, Shilpa. Bye.
Thank you for having me, Sushmita. Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of The Feel Good Factor. I'm Susmita Veganosaurus, and I'll be back next Tuesday. Talk to you soon. Bye.